This episode of The Fighter and the Kid with Tito Ortiz, the legend, Huntington Beach Bad Boy, is brought to you by Onnit.
Onnit.
ONNIT.com/fighter for 10% off.
10% off. That's right. Onnit.
Bryan the Parrot.
Onnit.
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 Onnit.com. Whatever you need. Best supplements on planet Earth. Start now. 10% off on supplements only. That does not include training gear.
Supplements only or only?
Only.
Oh, only.
www.onnit.com/fighter. OONIT.com/fighter.
Yeah.
Start now.
I have to have the last word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Onnit. Happy birthday, Brandon Schaub. Podcasting's your full-time job. Big, strong body and the mind of a teenage girl. Got a big, strong body and the mind of a teenage girl. You love terrible movies, the worst TV, and you can't stop eating cookies. Can't stop eating cookies. Big, strong body and the mind of a teenage girl. Big people like you don't live that long, so 31 is middle-aged. Big people like you don't live that long, so 31 is middle-aged. At least you're still strong.
And scene.
Wow. Happy birthday, Brendan.
Thanks, buddy.
Anything new besides your horse?
What'd you say?
Didn't you buy, there's a rumor you bought a horse.
Bought myself a gift.
Is that right?
A dream car since I was 6 years old.
Good job, pal.
Yeah, thanks, man. Things are good.
I
have this delicious cake.
We have a cake that Keely bought.
Special K
that
got
Keely
this
made,
delicious cake. It
that I
actually
made.
tastes like a ding dong. I can't wait to devour.
Let's have some of this.
Let's get on into this. Big show today with Tito Ortiz, my man.
Very excited.
He is a very talented dude. I'm hoping he brings his girl. I am hoping he brings his dime piece of a girlfriend.
Amber.
Amber, also known as the Giants girl and UFC ring card girl.
Yeah. Smoke.
Just to lighten things up in here. Just to kind of help the show go more smooth.
Yeah.
I told Tito you're a creep, so we'll see how that
I
goes.
think someone who's as beautiful as Amber will bring out the creep in pretty much any guy. And if it doesn't, maybe you should check your testosterone at the door.
That's legit.
Hand me that fork, please.
I'll tell you what
Never mind, I got one.
I'll tell you what I'm more excited for while you devour this cake.
Yeah.
Probably go easy on that, man. You need all the help you can get. Physically, you look like caca.
Haley, well done.
Where'd this cake come from?
She made it. You made it.
You made it? I'm not mad at those chocolate-covered strawberries on top either.
Dipped them this morning.
Nice.
It's actually really good.
At home, I have a, when you walk by Mrs. Fields, I have a, those big, giant cookies. I'll post it. I got a big brown one for my girl. Yeah.
My buddy knew Mrs. Fields in Hawaii when she was younger.
Yeah, she
said she was really hot.
Yeah, definitely didn't.
You don't know.
Yeah. No, you're what we call a compulsive liar. You're the guy that tries one-upping everyone.
Oh, my God. I tell a story last night with my wife there and friends. I said, well, my sister, when she was really young, almost got kidnapped by proboscis monkeys in India. And my wife was like, what? I go, yeah. She was 2. She was on the veranda, and these proboscis monkeys came out, and they were all over the veranda. My dad came out and grabbed his daughter, my sister, before they got her. And my wife looks up proboscis monkeys. They're not in India. They're not in India.
Who told that story?
Me. I did.
You made that up?
I didn't. That was the story. I should probably check my facts because my wife, in front of our guests, goes, Bryan, proboscis monkeys are not indigenous to India. They're in Malaysia, Indonesia. I was like, well, I guess they weren't proboscis monkeys.
Real quick, so you had to get together last night. That's weird. We wanted to do dinner for my birthday, and you said you couldn't.
Well, it was an impromptu
You're a terrible friend.
It was an impromptu thing.
No, it wasn't.
Dude, we're going to throw you a party soon, as soon as I'm back from Minnesota. I'll be in Minnesota this weekend, House of Comedy.
Can you please stop eating cake?
I won't. House of Comedy. Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. Come see me Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come on, man. Let's go. Come see me.
You know what drops this Friday? It's going to be the hotness. The national champion taekwondo shirts. Bryan the Kid Callen.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night. I'm excited for those. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. At that Porsche dealer, I was there for quite some time.
Dude,
Real beast. And then I text you how long I was there.
Yep.
And then I'm a real beast when it comes to negotiating. Got it from my dad, Papa Schaub. He's a beast. When we were kids, for my dad to buy a car, it would be a 4-day process. He'd stay there all day, get to their bottom dollar, and he'd walk out. And they would call him back. We'd go back the next day. Again, exact same thing over. It was exhausting.
I don't have the patience for that.
I know, but you're looking for the best deal. And then the thing about it is that Porsche, they're pretty fancy. But word got around that I was a fighter and I'm there. So they send over the one dealer who he was in the crowd, or he was on set when Bruce Lee fought the big fight with Chuck Norris. So I sent Bryan a text. I said, hey, for sure when trying to buy a car and get out of here quick, for sure quit showing me Bruce Lee stories over and over. This guy got out. I'm not making this up. This guy, for 45 solid minutes, this guy got out his personal laptop and was showing me pictures of him as he's every bit of 50. Him as a kid on set with Bruce Lee, pictures of Chuck Norris.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, very cool, man. Hey, do you know where the guy is I'm dealing with for the car? He's like, oh, he'll be back in a little bit. All right, I just got to sit through this another 10 minutes. Nope. Goes, check this out. YouTube. Search YouTubing Bruce Lee movie footage. I was there for 40 minutes, at least 45
Bruce
minutes.
Lee is about, by the
Bruce
way,
Lee.
5'4", 135 or something, 5'7", 135. How long would he last with Uriah Faber? About a minute. Thank you.
What are you saying, Bit Killer, Bryan? I don't fucking know. Bruce Lee made movies. He wasn't a fighter.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Maybe get out of here, huh? Please stop eating cake.
I've eaten 3 pieces already.
Yeah, I know. You know what, though? You should get rid of and probably decide to start doing.
What? Because I need fuel, man. I need energy.
Yeah, no, you need something.
Can I be honest with you?
I'm being serious with you.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to give you a Rogan intervention talk.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Yeah. I would appreciate it if you would hydrate and quit traveling so much and missing the show.
Yeah.
And take On It products.
Really?
Yeah.
What On It products would you suggest? Because I just ordered, before you say anything, I just ordered more Warrior Bars, my krill oil, and a 24-kilogram kettlebell.
It's like a kid in 8th grade got a hold of On It website and could order anything. You ordered some random shit.
I did.
I got extra small shirt. I got a 35-pound kettlebell, a 90-pound kettlebell, and 1 Warrior Bar.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd just take everything they offer.
Is that true?
Everything.
I brought myself through a crazy chimp kettlebell workout yesterday.
Yeah, probably not that crazy if you did it yourself.
Well, I'm having trouble moving my lower body.
You're 50.
Yeah, 48. Please give me those 2 years.
Please give me those 2
Don't ever
years.
say I'm
sir.
50 yet.
Please give me those
Jesus,
2
I'm
years.
50. Oh, my God. You're 31, huh?
I'm getting up there, man.
It happens quick. It happens quick. And you are a big man, so I'm going to go with, you're basically the same age I am.
But true.
You know what I mean?
True.
It's all good.
We'll have to ask Tito that, how long he thinks he's going to live till.
Yeah. Tito will never die.
Like I said, you never see big guys walking around older who are like, oh yeah, he was,
Yeah, you don't see a lot of...
like, oh yeah, that guy was in the NFL. How old is he? 99. Oh, he looks good. No, knees are fine. Head trauma? Nah.
I saw Joe Namath walking down the street in New York about, 10 years ago.
Jacked up
Oh,
knees.
boy. Yeah. Jacked up. He couldn't look more crippled. Joe Namath.
Yeah, if I had to estimate, I would predict I live to 80.
That's giving yourself a lot of time.
80? 80's not that old.
Okay.
I'll tell you who's going to outlive all of us, Ev. Because
Yeah.
you're like smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're smaller.
I'm going to be the first person to live to 150.
Good chance. They say the first person to live to 200 is born. Or
Yeah.
150
Are
is
you a
born.
hypochondriac?
me.
When you get a pain, do you think, oh, shit? Or probably not, because you're always in pain just from fighting. Training.
Wait. What?
Are you a hypochondriac?
What do you mean?
Are you a guy who worries about your health? Like if you get a little pain, you're like, oh shit, that might be cancer.
No, I'm sure I have cancer. I have like dots on my balls. I don't care. Like random black dots. My balls look like a gecko. Like it's like super weird.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, I just roll with it. We'll figure it out.
I got all kinds of growths everywhere. I'm fine. I'm sure I'll be fine.
I don't worry about it at all.
That's good.
I don't know.
Ignore it.
It's for sure spreading.
Yeah.
For sure spreading.
Let's get that looked at, huh? If you got random spots that seem to be spreading.
No, it's just one. It's like big and black.
Well, let's definitely get that checked.
Nah.
Could be melanoma.
Nah, brings a little
First
character.
of all, stop suntanning your balls.
Brings a little character to the lower region.
Are you leaving your balls out in the sun for long periods of time?
I mean, they'll crawl out without knowing. I wear short shorts. They'll just pop on out while I'm in the sun.
Gotcha.
That might be it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the legend himself, Tito Ortiz, in house. Fighter and the Kid. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show. This is cool.
I was very excited because I got to talk to you for a good hour and a half when we were sitting at the bar. And I think the last thing I said to you as you got up, it was in New York. I went, "You're taller than I thought," and you were like something like,
He's obsessed with guy size.
Well,
It's the first thing I said.
I've been watching
It's
Tito
weird.
since the beginning. So it was kind of cool. My buddy Dov Davidoff, who's a great comic, wouldn't even come over and talk to you because he just kept going,
that.
"You know who he is." I mean, that
was in New York. That was completely random. We went there. One of my buddies, so one of his girlfriends was a waitress there, and we just went there by complete randomness. And
Yeah.
anyhow,
How long ago
paths
was
crossed.
that?
I don't know, a year ago, maybe a little less, 6 months.
Oh, recently.
No, that was like almost 2 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah. almost
God.
2 years ago.
6 months?
Man,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm the worst. When my kid was 6 days old, or my
Oh,
my
no,
kid
I
was
take
like,
that back. You are correct. It's about a year ago.
Okay,
about
a year ago.
It was,
All right.
Definitely
it
not
was right
6
before my
months,
Shlemenko fight.
But
I'm getting ready to fight Shlemenko.
when my wife, somebody asked us how long I'd lived in this house, the house I was in Venice, I was like, about 9 months. My wife went, 3 years, bro. 3 years. I just have a bad sense of time.
It's just
I guess I'm.
a sign that we're getting really old quick.
Old, but don't you, like, people ask me, when did this happen? And I always judge it based off fights. You know, like camps. Like they say, oh, remember that time we went to Cancun? I'm like, oh, yeah, after the Gonzaga fight. Like,
Yeah.
everything's fight-related for me.
It's true. I do exactly the same thing all the time. I mean, I've been doing it for 17 years, so I guess I could relate to a lot of things that happened over the last 17 years for sure.
It's crazy. 17 years.
Do you have, because you've been fighting forever, man.
Since 97.
Since
May 30th,
97.
1997 when I started.
And I think for you, you were kind of the first guy who, and we talked a little bit about this off air, is you're the first guy who really was business savvy with it. Most guys went in there, punched people in the face, got out, that's it. We never really heard from him. But you were a guy who realized that it is a form of entertainment, and you ran with that. I just remember you were my favorite fighter because the other guys weren't doing it. You were hyping the fights. You'd come out of the locker room. You had the 2 flags. You'd come down from the crowd. Like, you were the guy who kind of had that crossover. It was like, all right, this is cool to watch, man.
Well, you know, when people turn on pay-per-view, you know, I fought for UFC, I fought pay-per-view, we had to get buyers. We had to get people who tuned in and wanted to watch. And to me, it was entertainment value that, you know, I watched people like Muhammad Ali, Hulk Hogan, in their respective sports. They were icons in their sports because they did something that no one else did. Well, in MMA, I wanted to be that person that no one else did those things. And I did those things. I mean, I was original in everything I did. And yeah, sometimes I would copy a lot of guys from pro wrestling, some of the things that I do, but I would make it my own style. But everything I always did, I came from my heart, and it was, what am I going to do when I'm 50 years old? What am I going to do when I'm 40 years old? And I kind of laid the ground on infrastructure of what I was going to do now. I mean, I just turned 40. I'm sitting where I thought I'd be sitting, and I wouldn't think I'd still be fighting, but I have the love for it, man. It's just
the passion's still there for it.
Still there, man. I think you know, the 2 years ago, I went through some really troublesome times with some home life stuff, and I was able to survive through it. I found a wonderful girl. I think maybe it was an angel sitting to me, you know, Amber Nicole Miller, who came in and helped me out. Made me find what love's truly about again, you know, and a love for the sport, a love for myself, love for my children. And I kind of lost that, you know, from 2006 up to 2012. I was so indulged into trying to help somebody and trying to help their life that I kind of lost myself. And Jason Perillo actually told me, he goes, you know what, go grab that chick's purse and go get your soul out of it. And that was 2000.
Grab that chick's purse and get your soul out of it.
Literally, it was a conversation that we had, and this was right before the Ryan Bader fight. And I went and did it. We didn't talk for 6 weeks before the fight. Lived in the same household, slept in the same bed, didn't have one conversation.
What?
Nothing.
That's not awkward.
That's
at all.
mind control. That's mind control.
No, it was just in my mind. I was just so sick of the negative over and over. Just everything was negative. I just couldn't handle it anymore, so I just stepped away, and dealt with my children. Woke up in the morning, fed him, got ready for school, took him to school, came home, took a nap, got up, went trained, got done with training, go to school, pick him up, bring him home, had a nanny come over. I'd go back to the gym, I would train, come home, right before the boys went to sleep, put them to bed, and I'd hop up on Xbox, play Modern Warfare until midnight, go to bed. And I was doing that 6 days a week. Sunday was my day, to be with my boys 100% of the time, and I did that, and I fought Ryan Bader. I stopped him in, 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Uppercut,
I remember
right?
that. It was a straight right, wasn't it?
It was a left hook.
Yeah.
It was a hooker cut.
That's what I meant.
Upper hooker
Yeah, it was
cut.
like a, yeah.
Dropped him, got a choke, and
That's
from that
right,
point
man.
on, I go, and just you have those out of body sensations of just feeling, going, if I can do that with my mind in the right place, what can I do if I got my whole life in that area? And it took me a year to do that, and in 2012 I got a restraining order. I got full custody of my children. I had to go to court. So much stuff went on, and I won everything. I got full custody of my kids. Amber met, and my life has changed. I'm a different man. I'm a different person, different father, different fighter. Life is restarted for me.
Yeah, you seem at peace, man.
Dude,
you
you don't
seem
even-
good.
no,
You
you
seem
don't
real
understand.
good.
You don't even
I
understand
think that
it.
Tito Ortiz
But
talk.
we're all humming suddenly. Like
Yeah, no, it's just
like
the inner peace that you have where you come home, you don't have to worry about what's at home. You don't have to worry about going home. There was times with my training partners like, dude, I don't want to go home. It's like, they're like, what? It's your house. That should be my peace, my tranquility. It should be at my home.
The sport's hard enough as it is.
I know. The stuff. As a fighter, man, the stuff we go through is the most loneliest sport in the world is fighting by far. Because when you're laying in bed going, God, how am I going to get up tomorrow and train? How am I going to get up? And then you got injuries. You're like, God, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to fight?
And then you got to spar monsters.
It's
not easy.
and it's a new guy every minute.
Especially if you're a name.
Yes.
Trying to take
Your
head off.
X factor to me was always the fact that you were such an emotional guy. I believe, like you talk about Hulk Hogan and those guys, there's a big difference. With you, I really believed when you'd be jumping up and down in that corner and you're about to fight, I really believed that everything that was going on in your face, nothing about it was an act. There was such an authenticity. Your fight with Shamrock, you kept that anger well after beating him to the ground.
Well,
and that was the X factor that I always felt like this was the evolution of a man. You started out as a young guy, angry for whatever reason, but learned how to harness that.
Yeah, never compare him to Hulk Hogan again, though.
I didn't. He was the one.
I was a troublesome kid. I came from a troublesome home. My mother and father had a drug problem, and they didn't want to grow up. They wanted to be responsible for the child that they had, and I always had that built-up anger. Where I didn't like my father. I had a little diss towards my mother. But by the time I turned 25, she wrote me a 10-page letter explaining everything that happened, the problem they had. She survived. She took me away from my father at the age of 13. She got sober and changed my life. But you talk about the anger and everything, the hardness when I fight. I have an out-of-body experience. Is when it's fight time, in my mind is just don't stop moving. I feel like a great white shark is don't stop moving. I don't stop moving, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to lose. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. Back then, even now, I still got cardio for days where I believe in it, and I just put so much effort out that I try to crush the guy. I went to Cal State Bakersfield, and that was where we won matches. We didn't win matches by points. We won matches by beating guys down and making them want to quit. And that's how I brought the same mentality when it came to fighting. And it really came down to is just I'm myself when I fight, but when it's competition time and I am fighting, I watch myself doing it. It's not me doing it.
You watch yourself. Well, how much a factor besides anger when you were younger? How much of a factor was fear?
I still have fear.
Yeah,
everything's fear.
See, I never see that in you, but I like hearing.
And then the best explanation is when I watch the Mike Tyson story, and he was talking about how much fear he has right before he's in the locker room, and he's pushing his gloves back, and he's just thinking that he doesn't want to be clowned on by the guy he's fighting. He doesn't want to let his fans down, doesn't want his family down, and the fear that just is in his heart. But by the time he walks into the cage, he's invincible. And I have that. When he said that, I was like, I couldn't explain it any better. That's how I feel. It's just each step. When I'm walking out, tears are coming down my eyes, and I always what I understood myself is why am I doing that? And I think it was like 2007. I understood that it was just fear leaving my body. And by the time I stepped to the cage and I know it's time to fight, I did everything to prepare for the fight already. And now it's time just to release and fight with my heart and soul. I mean, that's something that I've always fought with, was my heart and soul. Every time it was injuries that I fought through, and I still fought anyways. Anything happening at home, I mean, things that I went through, I mean, things that happened with Dana. I mean, there's so many different obstacles that have happened before a fight that I've gone through personally that my skin's super thick, my mind's super strong, my heart's super huge, that's why I'm still doing it after 17 years. I mean, I feel young. I mean, I feel great. This last 2 years have kind of been a learning curve, but at the same time, it's been a rebuild of my body and my mind.
Are you thinking, when you say you feel young and you feel great, are you suggesting you still have some fight in you? I know you did to Stephen Bonner.
I just
I know.
beat Bonner. They said split decision, but it was a decision, whatever.
Yeah,
I still beat him with a detached retina. I can only see out of one eye, but I still whooped his ass. It got to a factor where he talked so much about my family and personal stuff and lies that I had to shut him up. I couldn't back out of it. I was just at the Bieber roast, and all the execs from Spike were there, and I was showing them pictures of the stitches in my eye, and they're like, "You are crazy." I go, no, I hold things very emotional. When someone speaks the way he did, I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna fight, and I did. I was swinging for the fences from the first round to the end of the third round, and possibly getting a world title fight in Bellator.
That's what you want. If you're Coker, you're asking.
I'm begging. I have the last 2 months. I've been begging him. I've been begging. I mean, I was like, sit out the Beaver Rose. All the execs from Spike. I'm begging them. I'm on whatever I need to do to get a world title fight. Give me the title fight. I want it now. They're like, well, we want to get you a little warm up fight. Da da da. I don't want a warm up fight. I want to fight. I want to fight.
Tito Ortiz.
I fought the top guys my whole life. I want to fight. Give me a fight.
Plus, either way, it's a win-win for them because Liam is the champ, right?
Correct.
Liam, the champ, tall kid. He's really not, he's not a well-known guy. No. If he fights a Tito Ortiz, the fans are going to tune in. Yeah. He's going to get more viewers. You can beat him.
Yeah, you need to keep talking because these guys won't listen to me.
That's crazy.
The problem is, like, because he's not a well-known guy, they don't want to give me the fight so quick. It's like, come on, what do we got to do? And I'm all, you know what, guys?
It's the best thing for him.
Yes.
He's irrelevant right now. He's the champ. You want to make him relevant? Have him fight Tito Ortiz and hype the fight. Yeah. And it's he hasn't fought a veteran like you, so it's a good test for him.
It's a great test for him.
Yeah.
But like I say, I keep begging for it. I had all my fans on Twitter just pushing it and shoving down their face and trying to make them, make the fight happen.
Firing the kid, get on it.
Do you worry, though, that you know eventually, like every fighter, every athlete, there's going to come a day when you have to retire?
I have 2 more fights in me.
You have 2 more fights.
See, this is my whole life.
100%.
Yes.
They have to give you a title shot if there's only 2 more.
Yeah. In my mind, I've done everything that I've always wanted to do on my time. Everything I've always wanted to do is in my time. I know in 2 more fights, I'll be done. In my mind.
Wow.
You were a guy who you were never a yes man. With Dana, with Bellator, you were never a yes man.
No.
If you could redo it all again, would you have kind of... No. Give in a little bit, maybe a tad here and there, maybe like Dana.
Yeah, I would give in a little bit. It was just I'm not a person to be bullied. I can't be bullied. I'd rather die on my knees, die on my feet than live on my knees. I've always had that, in my mind. I've never been. Just a factor of having respect has been huge. Having integrity for myself has been huge. And, Dana says, oh, Tito's stepped over dollars to try to pick up pennies. Well, I picked up that penny respectably, where I look in the mirror and I have integrity for myself. Mm-hmm. I can respect myself. My fans can respect me. But there's also the fans who don't respect me, who talk smack nonstop. But those are the guys that always listen to all the propaganda stuff that's happening against me from
You need those guys, though. You need those guys.
Those are the guys that fuel me. It's cool.
Yes, you need both sides. Because if you walk out and no one's saying anything, that's the worst, man. When you walk out and the fans are just kind of quiet, you need either boos or cheers, but you don't want quiet.
Yeah.
And here's something that was a long time ago. It's kind of funny, and I always took it to heart, too. I met Diamond Dallas Page in Vegas. I think it was at Cheeto in the strip clubs in Vegas, and I told him I wanted to do professional wrestling. He laughed. He goes, yeah, sure. And he goes, you're the champion now, but in time, you never know what happens. I go, I don't care, whatever it takes. I've always been a big fan of professional wrestling. He's all, just don't ever forget where you came from. He goes, and I can tell you another thing. At the end of the day, you want people to cheer for you, and you want people to boo for you. When you have the problem is when you walk out and no one says nothing. He goes, don't ever be in that position. And I never even thought of it. I mean, I've always just said what I wanted to say. I've done what I wanted to do, and I always just said from the heart. I never talked lies on anybody. I never said anything about anybody's country. I never said things about people's family. I've always kept it real. I've always kept it on the level of it's always been trying to manipulate the person's mind who I'm competing against, and mental warfare. And Ali was one of the best guys to ever do that, and one of the first people's champs, and that's a guy who I kind of moniker my fight career behind. If I could step in one footstep that he's done through his career, I've done my job as a professional fighter in mixed martial arts.
But you're now becoming a manager of fighters, right?
Yeah, we're working on it. Actually, I kind of had to step down a little bit from it because I was trying to get Chris Cyborg in with UFC, and they finally signed the deal. So UFC is paying for Invicta fighters. So we're trying to work on this Ronda Rousey fight. There's this big talk about Layla Ali and Ronda, which is
That's
just
stupid.
the stupidest
What are we
thing
doing?
I have ever heard in my life.
It's a circus. You do
It's
that,
a
you're making a circus. You're making a joke of the sport.
I'm making a joke of Ronda. I mean, she's a great champion.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Cyborg is a great champion. Do champion versus champion, 140 pounds. Give the fans what they want to see. You guys want to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather?
Can Chris,
that's the fight that can happen.
Well,
Can
you
Chris
want a
suck down to
catch weight.
40?
She can make 40.
She can make 40.
She can make 40?
Ronda fights at 35.
Yeah, she can make 40. And Ronda fights at 35. What's a 5-pound difference? Ronda's fought at 154 in judo. And she's fought in Strikeforce at 145. Now all of a sudden she cut down.
You know what the thing is, though, Tito, is if you're the champ, you have everything to risk and lose. Why would she?
Chris is a champ too.
Yeah, but there are different levels as far as marketability. Right?
She's still the champ too.
She is, but not of the UFC. She's not fighting as good as competition.
As good as competition. Okay.
What do you say?
I say that she's getting handpicked her fights. That's
Ronda
right.
is?
Yes. Why do you think they're lasting so long?
Well, but there's no one there.
There you go. You just answered your own question, buddy. The kid actually is learning.
Well, what is she supposed to do?
What's she supposed to do? Fight all comers.
Fight the best there is.
Fight the best there is.
But at 135.
Anderson Silva stepped up to 205. He stepped up to 205 like 3 or 4 times. He never complained about it at all.
That's true.
And he fought the best. He fought, Forrest Griffin, who was a champ the year before.
He finished everybody too.
Yeah, and he finished everyone.
Yeah,
so you can't really take away and say that you got to step down to Ronda because she's the champ. Chris Cyborg has been the champ. She's been 17-1, and that one loss was a no contest because supplements that her training partners gave her. And people make mistakes. Look at all the guys now who are making mistakes, left and right. The world champions. I mean, the biggest names in the sports are making these mistakes, and they're just getting a little slap on the hand and saying, "Going."
True.
Chris has been almost 4.5 years now that she has had 7 fights that she has been tested. A month before the fight, 2 months before the fight, the night of the fight, the night right after the fight's over, and has been negative every single time.
How old is Chris?
But if
Chris is 29.
if Chris wants that fight so bad, don't you think she would just go, all right, let's make 135. It'll be the biggest fight in women's history.
Can you make 205?
Yes.
You can make 205.
That's a lie.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Not easy. I could do it, though.
Yeah.
Look at my face.
How much you walk around at?
240. Eating whatever I want. I've cut down 225.
You're like 6'3", right?
Yeah.
Possible. But as a man, I think that'd be easier. But as a woman, I mean, they gotta.
I agree. It's gonna be a challenge, but if she did it right,
I've been
and
the
the money
weight
involved.
cuts. I've been 4 weight cuts, and I've been cutting since my sophomore year in high school, and I'm 40 now, so I've been fighting for 25 years, almost a little longer. But it's hard for her to get down to 45s. I see her just killing herself to get down to 45.
She's a big girl.
You talking about Chris?
Chris, yes.
She's a big girl.
It's hard for her to get down. I mean, this last cut, I think she got down to like 40, 43, and she said it wasn't super harsh.
What does she weigh usually when she walks around?
About 67.
It's
167.
a big weight cut. But what is your objection to them fighting at a catch weight at 40? It's only 5
I mean, and
pounds
as Chris says, she don't care about the title. She goes, I don't care about the title. I just want to smash her face. That's all she cares about.
Then just cut 5 pounds. That's my thing. Then just cut the
That extra 5 pounds for a chick who's cutting down from 167 down to 145 and then cutting down another 10 more pounds.
It's a beast. But I mean, if you want it.
Have you ever cut weight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Metamorphs jiu-jitsu match.
Really?
25 pounds. Yeah.
25 pounds?
Yeah.
Was it easy?
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah, you're such a bullshit.
Listen.
Here's another thing that people that are listeners, the listeners that don't understand the mental state that you're in when you're cutting weight. When food is not even an idea of, you don't even care about food, all you care about is a little drink of water, that's when you know when weight cutting's hard. Just an ice cube. You wish you could have an ice cube. When you're dreaming about drinking water and you wake up going, oh my God, did I drink something? And I'm talking about food. We're talking about drinking. It's like starvation.
Yes.
This is totally different. The mindset that comes in that. Now put it in a factor to a woman to do that. It's tough. I mean, for me, I cut down from about 228 down to 206, 205. I mean, I got it down set perfect where I know exactly where I'm at. And it's still tough where the night before the weigh-ins, I'm not eating a dinner. It's like I go to bed and I'm hungry. I'm like,
starving.
This sucks.
I think 140 is a very reasonable catch weight for both of them. And I would be surprised if Ronda at the end of the day said, I don't want to do that. It's only 5 pounds. No. That isn't a lot. And she walks around, Ronda walks around anyway at 150, probably 152, I think. So it's really not that big a deal. And if that's the difference between fighting, and I also think that for Ronda, such a competitor, if it was explained in the terms of if Chris Cyborg had to cut to 35, you might not be fighting the real Chris Cyborg. No. Because the weight cut is so drastic that you'd be fighting a weakened Chris Cyborg. If that's the way you want to win, I don't think anybody wants to win, and nobody wants to see that fight. I want to see Chris Cyborg fighting at a weight where she's the strongest she can be, and the real Chris Cyborg that we've all been watching, the killer, who is 17-1. If you make somebody like that cut that much, now you have an advantage. Now you're dealing with dehydration issues, and it can get dangerous, and you have a weakened person.
Yes.
So I think that in the spirit of competition, let's make it. And in fact, I'm going to call it right now. 140 pounds, Chris Cyborg. But I think that's a reasonable weight. It's only 5 pounds difference.
And they don't care. Like I say, it's not about a title. They don't care about a title. You're doing champion versus champion already. Champion 145, champion 135. Let's meet in the middle, 140. Fans want to see it. I think they'll do great pay-per-view.
Is the natural difference in size between those two just about 10 pounds? Is Chris?
No, Chris is a bigger
framed.
Bigger frame. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she's a little more solid. She got the Brazilian body, man. It's just
her shoulders and
everything.
Yeah. So it is. Chris Cyborg's obviously is she technically 2 weight classes bigger or 1 weight class bigger?
1 weight class.
1 class.
Yeah. But then you got Ronda calling out Layla Ali. It's like,
that's weird.
That's just retarded. It's like Layla Ali.
It's like me calling out Chuck Norris.
It's like
what are we doing?
Yeah, right.
What are we doing? When I saw that, I was like, oh no.
That was bad because that just shows how they're trying to steer the ship away from Chris. And it's like, why would you want to steer the ship towards that?
Well, I just don't like when it becomes, this is such a serious sport and we're trying to grow it into one of the top sports in the world with baseball, basketball, football, soccer. But when you're doing circus acts to the side, it knocks us down a little bit. It just takes us down a little bit.
No, I'm right there with you. I say the same thing. Not a factor. I'm a very close friend of Chris, training partner of Chris, former manager. I stepped down so she can get the deal with UFC, but she ended up getting the deal. And that's kind of been like a hush-hush thing that, oh, no, Chris didn't sign with the UFC, which I kind of scratched my head about. And it's like, Lorenzo met with Chris that I remember seeing. I remember seeing a picture with Chris Lorenzo smiling. So, I mean.
How's your relationship with the Fertittas?
Great.
They were never your issue, right?
Never. Lorenzo has always given me a fair shake. He's always been an awesome guy. Not even the factor of contract-wise, but just person to person. He's always been
great people.
Dude, he's
solid.
One of the coolest guys that I've known in this business. He's a really, really cool cat. The difference just been me and Dana. We're just.
But you guys go back. I don't think people realize your history because you go back. He was your manager for a while, right? Yours and Chuck's.
I remember him flying out to my house in Huntington, my apartment in Huntington, and begging me to be my manager. I remember when that happened. And then I remember him being pushed as the UFC president. Then all of a sudden, his attorney, I got pushed to him as now his attorney is becoming my management, which is a conflict of interest, and there's always a conflict of interest. So what about that? And that's what I've seen it in the beginning of UFC 40, and I always asked for a little bit more. And I remember at the time, what was it? Jim Gallo, who was the attorney, was like, "We don't want to ruffle their feathers." I'm like, We're you're supposed to be my attorney and my manager. Isn't this what
You
we're
don't wanna
supposed to
hear
be
that.
doing? We're supposed to be asking for a little bit more if they're making more. And I mean, that's when it all started, I think. And it was just, I scratched my head about it. I understood it as a business, you know. The fighting game came about, yes, but if I'm going out and doing all the interviews, I'm doing all the flights to across the United States of trying to promote the fight and everything, and people are tuning in and getting bigger and better numbers each and every time. And I don't know, if they're making more, why shouldn't I make more? And that's the way I thought of it. And I'm the one putting my life on the line. You know, I see all the injuries that I've gone through my career, and I keep coming and I keep going and I keep working. You know, but it just come to realize that all of us fighters are strictly commodities to these companies, and I'm just trying to get the most out of it.
What about head trauma? Does that bother you at all?
No, I haven't really took much. You know, the damage that I've taken was Chuck. I think that's the only damage I've ever really took, and it wasn't that bad. The first time we fought, he did drop me. You know, McCarthy came in and stopped it. I wasn't intelligent in myself. I never been knocked out completely unconscious.
What about in training?
I got a knock on wood. No,
Training?
never.
Yeah,
never,
you're
never.
really smart training.
Yeah,
you don't
training-
fight this long without that.
Yeah, you know, I think me and Rampage are the ones who probably had the biggest battles. But they weren't too bad. I mean, we would never really try to kill each other. And, you know, see guys training, they're trying to kill each other, and you got to kind of tone it down a little bit. I wish I would have listened to Couture a long time ago when he says you got to train more quality than quantity, because I was always the guy to go out and train 8 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yes, sir.
But now, just last 2 years, I've taken it down more than half, almost 3/4. I've put in my 3 hours a day, and as long as I get my run and my lift in, that's about it, man. It's more smart training.
When you know, we talk a little bit about this sometimes. Running the UFC, it's a new sport. I know it's been around a while, but relatively new. There's so many fighters on the roster, I think like 500. If you had Dana's job, what would you do differently? And what do you think needs to be done differently?
Don't lie to the fighters. Don't be two-faced. Take care of the guys who put the money in your pocket, you know. Don't make them struggle. And by saying that, you know, you look at Mark Coleman, who's struggling right now. And it's, I don't like Mark. And the only reason I'm saying this right now because I'm a fighter who've battled for what we should get as fighters. But to see someone like that who's struggling that hard in life, it's sad.
It's horrible.
But isn't some of that
all the other guys who have fought after Marcus came, who've done great things and become forgot about?
Mark's a UFC Hall of Fame.
Isn't so much of that, though, also just the nature of fighting? Couldn't you say the same thing about boxing? It almost feels like I understand, you know what I mean? Like it must be a hard job to take care of.
It is, but the guys who make the money get the money back.
Guys are starting. I think the issue that the UFC and combat sports in general, Bellator, everyone's going to run into is we're just seeing now with football, brain trauma, guys, you know, they're not doing well. And in the NFL, they have compensation packages. They're good. 401ks, they're good for putting their lives on the line. They're good when they retire. In MMA, there's nothing like that. And we don't know the research because the sport's so new. We don't know what's going to happen with head trauma. I'm telling you, it's something that needs to be addressed.
And there is two type of fighters that you'll see in MMA. The guys who are like myself, who use a stand-up to go to the ground and dominant being on top. You don't get that much damage. But then you see the guys who want to stand there and bang and put on a show. Those guys are getting knocked out. When you see a guy get knocked out unconscious, the next time he gets knocked out, it's going to be easier.
Yep.
And there's going to be more and more damage every time that happens. And that's the scary thing. All these guys want to go put on a show. It's like, I want to put on a show for the fans. Yeah, but when you're going home and you're drooling on yourself and you're like that,
but there's a pressure to do that because if you're a grappler, it's like, dude, if all you're going to do is take this guy down and try and submit him or ground and pound, that's not what's going to sell tickets. We need you to stand.
Yeah, unless you fight like me, it's a little different. I'm on top of somebody. I'm
True, you're doing
trying to
damage.
shove my elbow through his face.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I just, but there's a build-up for it, you know. These guys should be learning. They should be learning not the fact of just going in and winning fights, but after that fight's over, after they do win, they're doing the PR, doing all the set to make their name bigger for the next fight. And this is something that I've learned through my career is when people ask me, Tito, when's your next fight? I'll give them a month. I won't give them a date. I'll give them a month. Maybe that fight doesn't happen that month, but now all the fans, in their mind, there's a time of that year that I'm fighting. They're expecting me for me to fight. So they're talking about it that whole time. And this has been my own mindset of doing that. When it comes to my fight, I go out and do my own guerrilla warfare. I mean, I go out and I put posters up. Every restaurant in Huntington Beach, I'll go to every single one and ask, can I put this poster up?
Damn.
I do it myself.
Damn.
You do it yourself?
I've done it myself since the beginning.
Is any restaurant owner like, nah, man, we're good?
A couple times they do.
No way. Tito Ortiz is there with a Tito Ortiz poster. He's like, nah, we're good, man.
Now let's go to the one right next
I
door.
love that, though.
Wow.
That's crazy,
But
man.
I've done that since. I mean, I ask all UFC, Bellator. Can I get 500 posters? Can I get 500 of the little 11 by 8s or the big giant posters? And I go in, I'll sign it to the restaurant, I'll put it up, and they'll have it up for the whole month.
You know, you're such a pioneer in that sense, and I think that's how you're going to be. That's your legacy is going to be. You know, this sort of trailblazer who kind of people will be like, when Tito Ortiz fought, man. Let me tell you. And one of the things I think that the UFC or MMA in general is going to run into is if it is so hard to make a living as a fighter, and if at the end of your career you are in a Mark Coleman situation, I don't think really good athletes. There's a lot of incentive for really good athletes to get into this sport. I don't think that parents are going to let their kids say, "You want to be an MMA fighter?"
No.
That's not happening.
Would you let
if
your
you're
kids fight?
super poor,
Never.
fine.
Never. You wouldn't let him fight?
Nope.
My
boys.
What about the beast you're talking about? Finished third in the nation. What if Jake's like, Dad, I want to be
He already
Huntington
says that.
Beach Bad Boy?
This is our agreement. We have our agreement. He says he wants to. I tell him our agreement. I go, Jacob, what's our agreement? He goes, okay, Dad, I know. I have to get my master's degree first. I go, okay. He goes, I want to go to Stanford. I want to wrestle for Stanford. I want to go to Stanford, and I'm going to get my master's degree in business. I go, okay.
And then he can fight if he does that?
Yes.
Okay, so
he does that. And he's only 12, and he already got what college he's going to. He already knows.
12.
He's a straight A student, so everybody knows what he's doing.
But so
I want to put this in their brain. I want to put this seed when they're early so they know what to expect as it comes along, so they have the self-fulfilling prophecy of knowing I'm going to do this.
I wouldn't let I don't have kids, but I wouldn't let him fight.
But so-
I wouldn't even give him an option.
this is what's
If you don't
fascinating
like
to
being
me.
selfish, don't ever have kids.
Yeah, no.
But this is what's fascinating to me about what you just said about your kid. You came up with very little guidance. Zero guidance. And your value system is very interesting to me because here's this professional athlete with this incredible career, and you want your kid to get his master's degree. What I'm interested in is what philosophers, who are the people that were most influential to you? You didn't have any kind of role models, really. You didn't have a father teaching you this stuff. So where did you find it? Coaches? Self-help shit? What was it?
Movies.
Movies.
What kind of movies?
Oh,
Just
shit.
all movies, all different movies, you know.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I haven't.
Well, but which ones inspired you? Let's go back to that.
This is a good one. People are going to laugh about it too. Forrest Gump.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because he did so much, or
He did so much. He did on such a. I mean,
and he was half there, kind of.
Yeah, and to him, he was never just half there. Everything was so simple that he believed that he can do it.
Wow.
And people ever doubted him and say, you weren't able to do that. And I was like, that was great. God, there's so many other movies. I mean,
Forrest Gump's a good one.
It's a
Classic.
good one. It's a classic.
Schooled by movies, man.
I learned the facts of life from watching the facts of life. Seriously. I mean, my parents were getting high, so I was watching TV all the time.
I mean, you took that shit literally.
No,
Facts
I
of
did.
life.
It was crazy how I just watched things and just. I wasn't watching the movie for the excitement. I was watching for the reasoning behind why the movie was being told and how the writer was writing the movie and understanding, the learning. What was the life lesson behind that?
Yeah.
And that's how. I mean, I watched that and I did that. And there's coaches who helped me out through. I watch people's mistakes, and I never want to do those same mistakes.
Because you've stayed out of trouble. You really have, for the most part.
For the most part, I made a couple mistakes. I never done a mistake twice. I've made one mistake once, and I'll never do any of those again. When it really comes down to it is, I think I've always had a really good heart, and I'm an Aquarius to the T. I've always been a giving person, and people get kind of misconstrued of what I've had as a Huntington Beach Bad Boy, but I was always just trying to sell a product to somebody.
Yeah.
And that product was something that I made myself, and I ran with it, and I didn't stop. And I mean, there was times that Dana told me, "Don't do that, they're gonna hate it." And then after it was over, like, oh man, that was great. I can't count the times that has happened, and I just look for my career, and I just want to make sure I live this life to the fullest, where I can look back and go, you know what, I tried. Either I succeeded or I didn't succeed, but when I didn't succeed, I tried until I succeeded in that area, and I've done everything. I'm not done yet. I just turned 40. I'm better now physically and mentally than I was when I was 30. 100%. I'm wiser. I feel like I'm stronger. My mind's in the right place. My body's in the right place. I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago.
And you're happy where you're at as far as Bellator goes?
Bellator.
Like, if you had to compare the two, between UFC and Bellator, pros and cons. What like
here's I mean, UFC they're a machine. They understand the promotion. They understand it, but they're about themselves. It's about the UFC product. Bellator actually gives back to the fighters, which I like. And the biggest thing of all of us fighters, all we want is respect. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Is when the fans respect you, the company respects you, that's how you're able to be successful in any walks of life, in any business you work with. I mean, you're behind a desk. If their business respects you and they give you the respect that you deserve, that you worked your butt off to get to that point, it makes you feel good.
Integrity.
Integrity. My whole career, I've done that. And now that I'm with Bellator, it's just the guy's going to go, hey, Tito, man, you did great for us. Thank you. I mean, I remember being at Mohegan Sun, and I was eating dinner, and one of the VPs came up to me and was like, hey, don't worry about it, Tito. The dinner's on me. I got it. And I was like, I mean, I can pay for my own dinners. But like, no, it was a good job. You did great. I'm doing the PR for that. And I'm happy you went out and you worked your butt and you did beyond what we asked for. And it's just respect. Because at the end of the day, us fighters, we're all the same. And all we want is just respect of what we've done as stepping in the cage and fighting. That's what it's truly about, man.
And what do you think Bellator needs to do to get on the same level as the UFC? I think Scott Coker was a huge step in the right direction.
Huge step to the right direction.
That guy's a beast.
He's awesome. I've known him for over 15 years. He's very, very a guy cut and dry. He's going to tell you how it is. He's going to tell you how he's not going to lie to you. He's going to tell you what he can do. If he can't do it, and he's always been like that. And I think that's why in this sport, mixed martial arts, or in combat of sports, period, a promoter is usually the shadiest person. And with Scott Coker, that's far from being the truth at all. The guy's an awesome guy. He tells me what he can do for me. And right now I'm asking for a world title fight. He's like, I'm trying, dude.
Come on, Scott.
I know, I'm trying.
Two fights, the legend, man.
Yeah. So I really just sit back and I put my career in Scott's hands and Bellator's hands, and whatever they have a decision they want me to do, just give me a title fight. I have 2 fights left. All I want is a title fight. Whatever it takes to make that happen, I'm gonna do. And you know, if any fans look on who my opponents will be, it's just a factor. My career is in their hands, and for the first time, I'm stepping away and letting that happen. I begged for this world title fight. I've done everything in the world besides get on my knees, and I will not do that.
It makes sense. For Liam, too, it just makes sense to establish him as a serious champion. You have to go through a guy who's been there and who's a draw. He hasn't done that.
I mean, I have 6 world titles at my house, belts that I worked my butt off to get. This last year, I was supposed to lose against 185-pound world champ Shlemenko,
who was on PEDs.
Yeah, no, he wasn't when I.
Oh, that's right. That's when he fought Manoff.
Yeah, when fought Manoff, he did.
I mean,
and look at Forrest. When I lost to Forrest, people say he was on PEDs. And I mean, here's another thing. I get attacked, and I look on Facebook. I do all my own social media, and I get attacked for replying that a press guy asked me about Anderson Silva, that I was bummed about it. I'm bummed about it.
I think everyone was.
And my whole career, I mean, to do something like that and then say that it was to make his injury heal quicker, a big F off to them. I mean, come on, man. I've had L4-5, S1 fused in my lower back, C6, C7 fused in my neck, disc replacement in 3 and 4 in my neck, ACL replaced in my left knee, ACL replaced in my right knee, detached retina in my left eye. I have never, ever, ever touched any of those things.
You're like RoboCop.
No, I mean, people say, "Oh, look how big his head is." Of course, he has some muscles.
Come on.
Look, my freshman year in high school. Look at my senior year in high school. Look at my freshman year in college. Look at my junior year in college. The first time I fought in UFC. Guys, this head does not change. It's always been. My mom always told me I had a big head.
So what do you do? Because it's obviously an issue in the UFC or in MMA in general. So what do you do? What can you do?
You got to suspend these guys. Suspend them. Suspend them for a year. Make them see what it feels like to starve. I mean, if they're going to take that big of a chance in their life to do that, I mean, it's not even the factor of competition. It's the factor of what kind of message are we trying to send out to our youth who want to be professional fighters, that it's okay to do steroids? I mean, come on.
This is my issue is let's say you test positive for steroids, not you, but if you're a fighter, the repercussion's just not there because they're out, 6 months, 9 months? I fight maybe once every 9 months anyways in the UFC. And guys who have tested positive, they do that 9-month suspension. We see them on main events. main cards, getting media. To me, it's like, dude, that's not sending the right message.
No.
We can't go about that.
I mean,
they should be disciplined. If you test positive, you're going to be on the undercard. Your next fight, you're on the undercard, and you're suspended for a year.
That's what it should be. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I left UFC. When it was okay to be 6 times the testosterone level of an average person when I fought Forrest. I find this out the day after the fight, that he had an exempt to do that. I was like,
That's tough.
he's not on an even playing field.
Yeah.
My whole life, I've been on an even playing field no matter what. I mean, I've lost training partners because they try to push this shit on me. And I never wanted to do it. Now the fact of saying it's okay for them to do it, now you're not allowed to do it, but if you do it, you're only suspended for 6 months and you pay a $2,500 fine. Or
Yeah, it's just not enough.
It just doesn't. Really doesn't make sense. I think these guys need to get some type of more against them because of it.
And then obviously John Jones, young champ, famous dude, right? Gets busted for coke. So what do you do if what advice would you give John? Because John is so talented.
He's in love with the Coco. I was bummed. I've always been a huge fan of John, and what can you do, man?
Is he the most impressive physical athlete?
100%.
Yeah.
He's one of the best champions that I've ever seen.
He's just
He's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes, he is the best I've ever seen. But making the mistakes like that he's to me, in my eyes, he's not a champion anymore. I mean, just by
Really, after that one?
That one, I 100%.
Oh, wow.
Really?
If you're going to be a champion, you got to hold your life as a champion. You got to do everything.
Inside and outside.
Inside and outside.
I think though.
I mean, I can't even count the times when I was world champ that things like that were presented to me at a club, was presented to me at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm good. My whole life, I'm cool. I'm good. I mean, and truthfully, I mean, there's been times, of course I smoked marijuana. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
The shit I grew up with, my parents are heroin addicts, dude. I mean, I've seen so much shit at such a young age that there's been times that you got to man up and you got to be the bigger person and say, I'm cool. Like I said, when the steroid situation came, I got rid of training partners, guys who trained me, and I was like, you know what, dude, you got to get out of my camp. I can't handle this shit. And I walked away. And it's being the bigger man, being the champion attitude, and being the better person by doing that, because knowing the repercussions that are going to happen after are going to be detrimental to your career, period.
Especially for a guy like you, because you're a brand. The Tito Ortiz is a brand, right? And you've kind of crossed that over into apparel. Yes. With Punishment Athletics.
Correct.
And, I mean, I see it everywhere, man, because your fans buy it. And it's a good avenue for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good because it actually keeps me level, it keeps me grounded. You know, I come up with all the ideas myself, designs, and I like it. I wear suits or I wear Punishment. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. And it all started out from a fan back in 1997, came up to me and said, Tito, man, you got a T-shirt with your name on it or something? Went home, my brother's all, man, you punished that guy. What? He goes, man, the punishment. Then that guy was sick. I was like, what if I put Punishment on a T-shirt, but TitoOrtiz.com underneath it? I could probably make some money out of this. And strictly, it was just for the fans. $200. We printed some shirts out. $200 turned to $1,000. $1,000 turned into $2,000. It just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And I still have the business since 1999. I look back and it's fun. It's exciting. It's cool to do.
And it's doing well.
Yeah, it does well. It does really well. Really stoked on it.
So the next 50 years of your life, say you live to 100.
I will live to 100, yes.
You think?
I'll live to 100.
Of course you will.
I think you'd be surprised.
No. Okay, so check this out. So on my mother's side, my grandfather lived to 75. Okay. Mm. On my father's side, that's the strong gene in your family always. My grandmother's still alive. She's 96 years old.
Damn.
And my grandfather lived to be 97.
That's great. However, they weren't getting punched in the face in wrestling all their lives.
Yeah, but I mean,
like, have you ever seen a big old dude with gnarly up airs and that melon? Just like you don't see a lot of big athletes who are.
If anybody does
old.
it, it's Tito.
Yeah,
Tito will be like,
he probably will. I'll die before you, 100%.
Yeah, no, I
100%.
I stay in shape, man. I stay in shape. I eat well. I don't drink alcohol that much at all anymore. Ever. I mean, not compared to when I was in my 20s. I take care of myself now. Now it's about my kids. I want to outlive my children, of course, 100%. And I just look at it as take care of myself on everything I do. You know, I want to live to be old. I want to watch my kids grow up, or my kids start taking care of me. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And this is when I'm 75, 80.
Your kid's going to get that master's and then just go right to the UFC.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to do.
I'm in this
I
corner.
did my job.
Yeah.
And I did my job as a father, and it's challenging.
Jacob, PhD, Dr. Jacob.
Yeah.
He's
Dr.
working on-
Punishment.
He's working on his dissertation.
He already has his nickname. He's Jake the Snake Ortiz. So.
Jake the Snake
Really?
Ortiz.
Yeah.
Jake the
I like
Snake
Dr. Ortiz.
Dr. Ortiz. He's got his master's on his way to get his PhD, ladies and gentlemen, in comparative literature
Yeah, right.
and business.
I hope so.
Do we have current events, Ev, or no? You want to go straight to fan?
I didn't think you were going to jump into them this quick, but yeah, we can do them right now if you want.
Current events?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Biggest story in sports right now is the March Madness bracket.
Do you follow basketball
Are
at
you
all,
a March
Tito?
Madness guy at all?
Not really. I mean, I'm
I
not
got
huge.
kids, man. I have no time for that.
Can you play any other sports before we get into this?
No.
Nothing.
I love it.
Just wrestling?
I love it.
Just wrestling.
Here's a throw you on your head.
Fishing's a sport, so yeah, I can fish really, really, really,
You
really
fish
well.
all the time, right?
All the time. I'm huge.
Your
I've been
Instagram, you're
since
fishing
6.
nonstop.
I'm a monster when it comes to fishing. I will go on a 3-day trip and I will sleep 8 hours.
By yourself?
No, with friends, but I'll be the one up every single
Does
morning.
your,
I'll
girl
fish.
fish too?
Oh, Amber loves fishing. She actually is almost as good as fisherman than me, which I'm really happy because she can go out. We'll go lobster fishing, and we're out for 3 days, and she's pulling the traps and hand over hand, baiting the traps. I mean, it's cool. And I kind of thought, I was like, all right, this chick's just trying to do this. They're trying to hook, line, and sinker me. But 2 years later,
knows
she's still doing
still with it?
Still with it. And she's like, I'm on, let's go fishing tomorrow. She's like, okay, cool, let's do this.
Where'd you
And
guys
she's
meet
catching
at?
yellowtail. We've known each other since UFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a ring card girl in UFC. And
And the Giants girl, right?
Zion's girl,
That's right.
And I've just been friends, just talked here and there. And then there was a time that we didn't see each other at all. And I don't know, just conversation started talking.
Timing's everything.
Sparks flew.
I got out of one relationship, and I needed knee surgery. And we were talking at the time, and I had an ACL replacement on my right knee. And this was in 2013. And I asked her, I go, hey, is there any possible way you come out and help me? I need some help with my kids and myself with my knee because I'm not going to be good out there. She goes, you know what? I'll take time off work. I'll come out. And she came out for 3 weeks and took the time off of work. I go, this woman is awesome.
Yeah,
now, for a woman to come in to a family that is not her children and treat them like they're her children, there ain't many women that can do that. And my hats off to her because she loves my kids like her own.
And the kids love it. Did you have any issue?
No, not at all. It took me, because I'm in the situation, man. How do I bring a woman into my kids' lives and do it the right way where I'm not bringing all kinds of different women in? I couldn't do that. I could not do that. And it took me time. You know, we're hanging out for at least 4 months before I even did that point. And it was a big thing when they're on in. I want you guys to meet a friend of mine. Her name's Amber. And brought him in. They're like, Dad, she's pretty. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, come on. Your dad's Tito Ortiz.
Oh, man.
It was perfect. And as we started hanging out, I think we're about 9 months into it. She does modeling, and there was a big gig that came about, and she was going to make great money on it. And at the time, she was helping me out with the kids, and she was on the phone with the person, and she was like, well, how long will I be gone? And she put my kids first before her career. And I was just like,
Uh-oh.
Damn.
that is being unselfish.
That's amazing.
It was, I was like, this is.
Guys don't, I mean, women don't realize how when a woman is that selfless, that is the biggest turn on.
That's the
that's
biggest.
it.
I mean, I was like, it's sealed deal. I mean, 5 months later, I was like, will you please move in with me? I have an angel, man. The selfishness that she does not have. I mean, a person who's selfish is just, it's a turnoff. And the way she's been towards me, my kids come first of everything. I mean, in my life, my kids come first in everything I do. And I love her for it. I mean, I have a wonderful chick. I'm lucky. I mean, she's sitting here smiling.
Yeah, she's in studio.
That's
Yeah.
it. She's in studio.
And I'm
smiling.
not saying these things because she's in studio. I'd say it no matter what, and I've said it in all interviews I do.
You're an authentic dude, bro. There's
I'm
no
lucky.
doubt.
I'm lucky, dude. I'm lucky. I've always wanted someone to love me and to love my children the right way.
Have you always been a relationship guy?
Always
Always.
been a relationship. I mean, I was
Because I'd assume when you're the young champ, you
was
were
married.
a tiger. What?
I was married, bro.
Boy, that was a mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake. We separated, which was good. I was with her for 12 years.
Wow.
Dang, you're a relationship dude.
Yeah, I mean, I made a mistake probably about the last 2 years of the relationship, and I cheated. I made a mistake, and I fessed up to it face to face. I couldn't handle it. I fessed up to it.
You just told her.
I told her I had to. Yeah.
You just sat her down. You're like, listen.
And I had to man up to it, and we separated because we fought all the time. We separated, and it was for my child, Jacob, to make sure that he didn't see fighting.
Yeah.
It usually rubs off on kids really bad at a young age. I didn't want that to happen. And we're best friends now. You know, she's remarried to another wrestler. Me and him are good friends, and I don't know, life rolls out the right way. I think everything happens for a reason.
But you're not a type of guy where you're a player. You're more relationship, serious guy. I would not think that.
I was with my ex for 7 years, and then things got really bad, and I had to walk away. I mean, I don't know. I think that we're just respecting women is really important. I've seen a lot of my friends that were my training partners who are just scumbags.
Yeah, I would say it's rare in professional
to go to
sports.
sleep and to think like that is just I don't know. I'm an Aquarius to the T. People, you're gonna read horoscopes. I mean, read the Aquarius, and I am word for word every single one of those things. Every single month, every year, it never changes. It is spit on. I mean, I trip out on it. And she reads it to me. I'm like, oh my God. I just like.
My mom's super into that stuff. I'm a Pisces. My birthday's today. I'm a Pisces.
Brendan Shaw. Yeah, that's right. Brendan Shaw's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy
brother.
birthday, man.
But I look at.
You finally turned 21?
Yeah.
He's 21. 21, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to current events here. Let's see what we got here.
We actually have a good one. The March Madness thing was just going to turn into a gambling conversation as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
You gamble a little bit, right, Schaub?
Yeah, for sure.
I gamble a whole bunch.
Yeah.
That's one of my sports.
Yeah, that
Gambling's
counts.
not a sport?
Yeah, no, that
That's
counts.
if anything, the less you know about what you're gambling on, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
At least for me, that's why I like March Madness. I literally couldn't name a college basketball player to save my life right now.
It's tough.
But I'm
Yeah,
going to fill out 5 brackets and probably lose a lot of money on them.
for sure.
Alabama? No, that's
That's
football.
college football. They're
No,
a beast. though.
they're in the tournament. They're in
The
tournament.
team this
Other
year
than-
is Kentucky. They're undefeated. They're a beast. Kentucky's the
Kentucky.
team. Yes, Kentucky's the way to go.
No,
Kentucky.
Who do you got?
Arizona.
That's true.
Because I know
Arizona's
the one
monster.
year I don't pick my own school is the year they'll win.
It's a good chance. Everyone's picking. It's either Arizona or Kentucky. Yeah, those are the big dogs.
Yeah, I agree.
Ryan follows zero sports. Next one.
okay.
What Brendan said.
I'm sorry. I don't quite believe how many pull-ups you've told me you can do, but this 54-year-old coach in Texas just broke the world record. 54 years old, did 4,300 push-ups,
Yeah,
pull-ups,
Legit pull-ups.
24
Legit
hours.
pull-ups.
Legit, dude. Legit. They're not
24
kidding.
hours.
They're legit.
They're legit.
What?
43.
Yeah. 54
They're
years
not
old.
those CrossFit pull-ups either that you like.
Yeah, that's the kipping now.
Legit pull-ups?
Bro,
Yeah.
these are straight down, by the way, all the way up to his chin. I watched
In a row.
4,321.
In 24 hours.
24 hours.
Oh, okay, so he's jumping off. Either way, that's
I mean,
insane.
in a row, that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Maybe
he's a beast.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Is he
what
jacked? He's in. He's
yeah.
not
Jacked.
He can't be
Jacked.
too big, is he?
He's as big as it
Pretty
gets.
yoked.
He's pretty yoked.
No, he's bigger than that. That's like where he's.
Well, that's him.
No, I know, but I mean,
That's him doing it.
if you see him just standing there, his back is just—it's ridiculous.
No,
He
yeah,
looks like a
that's him, though.
bodybuilder.
Big cat. He's
Yeah.
a big cat.
I mean, that's impressive.
54. Just, there you go. I'm gonna look
54.
sexy at 54. I can't wait.
Damn right.
What do you want to do? So 2 fights, you walk away champ. You beat this kid, walk away champ.
Well, I'll continue my acting classes. I've been in acting classes now for a year. I'm gonna continue those and do some theatrical stuff.
Where are you taking acting class?
In Beverly Hills with Aaron McPherson.
I know Aaron McPherson.
So you want to go?
did, dude.
So you want to go from fighting and you want to go into the movie biz?
Yeah,
I'm sure you have offers.
Yeah, but every time I get offers, it's like right before my fights, and
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like I can't. I get to pick one or the other. So I'll
I'll help you with some auditions. I got some.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that's never been done with guys like you is The Rock does it, but he's the only one. The reason The Rock is famous is because he finds the humor in the role.
Yes.
You got to find the humor.
Yes.
You got to find the irony and the humor. A lot of guys acting is like, I'm going to be, because you'll be cast as the tough guy.
Yeah,
if
I
you can
don't
be
wanna
cast
do
as the tough guy and have humor,
Yeah.
there's a way to play it, and I know exactly how you should do it.
And you enjoy acting.
Yes, it's fun. I get the same type of high that I do from fighting.
Wow.
Yeah, you get
That's
that,
tough
you
to
get that
replace.
adrenaline, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, ready? We're going to go.
Oh, wow.
And character kicks in place.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool. I love it. It's great. I mean, the classes we're going over, it's one-on-one. That was one of the deals through my Bellator contract. They pay for all that, so
Wow.
I understand. Yeah, and that was one of the deals that I did for Bellator. And people say, "Oh, it's a B company."
fantastic.
It's a business to me that I've seen something. What am I going to do the next 10 years, 15 years? You guys got to give me something to do for the next 10, 15 years. Not to come in and be fight and give you guys great ratings and do all that and come in with the world title. What am I going to do after that? I go, well, you get an opportunity to give you films through Paramount. Okay, Viacom could help you also. Okay, now we're talking. Acting classes. Pay for all my acting classes. Okay, now we're talking.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's so many other things that I kind of just squeeze my way into it.
The Rampage contract was released to the public because he's going to court over signing with UFC, and Bellator says no, you still have fights with us left. Yeah. His contract came out, and it's good for the fighters because we see it, and everyone's like, huh? This is what Bellator's offering?
Bellator's taking care of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, that contract's crazy, man.
I mean,
yeah, it's Rampage Jackson, but you see that, and it gives guys some leverage.
I mean, the attorneys at Viacom are awesome guys. They're very willing to work with the fighters, work with the business. They understand it. They treat me really good. All the guys at Spike, everybody at Viacom, they gave me a fair shake in everything I've done. I mean, they're saying, prove it. You got to prove it. And I proved it the last couple fights, and
Two more fights.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, this is the last one. We'll wrap up current events with this. This is straight out of a movie, basically. The Florida Panthers professional hockey team, both of their backup goalies got injured, so they held open tryouts for the public.
Oh, so it's like Invincible.
It is
with Mark Wahlberg.
It's Invincible on ice.
Wow.
Did anyone make it?
They're down to two more, get to two guys from it. And I guess they're going to pick one from them.
So how many people?
I mean, who knows if the guy will ever actually see ice time? But that is
absolutely not
crazy.
How many people came out?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, it's hockey in Miami.
It's actually big though in Florida. Hockey's big because the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup.
I wonder how many guys are flying out to it though.
That's what I want to know.
Like boom, they flying out to
for
it.
the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, they get an opportunity to be a main goalie. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What if you could be professional in any other sport? What would it be? The major sports.
Dance.
Oh yeah, hockey. Probably would be
Hockey?
Hockey.
Really?
That's one of my favorite sports.
Oh wow.
I love hockey. Love hockey. I mean, it's great.
I've seen this guy at countless Kings games.
Yeah, and
really?
And this goes to everybody. Dustin Pinner. This strictly goes out to Dustin Pinner. Please come back and play. He needs to train. He's re-signed. He needs to come back and play. Stop being a DJ. Come back and play. And he's one of the greatest, man.
Wait. He's a DJ?
Yes.
And
he's having fun. He wants to go out and have fun. He's young. I mean, he's 27 now. He thinks he can have. No. Be a hockey player. Come back. Be the best. Come back. Dustin, you're listening and you're fans. Blow this guy up. Come back and play.
Quit the DJ grab ass. Get into hockey.
You can get as much ass as you want. You don't need to be a DJ to do that, man.
Come on, Pinner.
He is one of the best.
He might just be sick of it, though. He's like, you know what? Listen, I can plug in my iPod and pretend to be a DJ.
He likes to eat. That's his problem. He was.
Oh, really?
That's the jokes. That's the jokes that all the players from the Kings, from the Ducks, that they'd always find like ding dongs, ho hos, everything like.
I'm not mad at him.
Stuff that you're not supposed to be eating.
Yeah, I hear that.
But come on, it's your season. I know they have a super long season, but 10 years from now, you're going, damn, why'd I do that? Or, man, I'm glad I did that. And that's what I think about. I think well, next 10 years from now. You know,
true.
So I'm calling it out.
Not everybody's Tito Ortiz, man.
Come on, Dustin, come back.
Or he's making bank being a DJ.
No.
Ding dongs. Or he's eating ding dongs on the side, bro.
You're right. That's
Nobody's going to the rave for Dustin Pinner. No.
As a true friend, a person who he's one of my boys. Please come back and play hockey. He's the best. He's awesome. He's probably one of the baddest guys out there.
Dang.
And he put some hits on some people, man.
Yeah.
You're a fan of him too, Ev? Ev knows his hockey.
Clutch playoff performer.
Yeah.
Clutch
Yeah.
player. He's great, and he's letting that greatness walk away to be a damn DJ. Come on, man.
I was in Chicago a couple years back, and I hung out with some of the Dave Bolin and some of the guys from the Blackhawks.
Right on.
Came to my show, and then they took me out after that. Talk about, I mean, these dudes are no joke. First of all, they're like 26, and they got millions of
They
dollars
get
in the bank.
after it.
Hockey players get after it. I literally was like, I snuck away. They're like, this is, they're just drinking. Some guys, I didn't know the guy wanted to punch me, hug me. I don't know what was going on. They're just these giant dudes just getting more and more crazy. And I was like, these guys are pro athletes. They're not going to tear it up. Oh my God.
Yeah, they tear it up.
Guys
One
say,
party's
dude, you
harder
come
than
back
a
to the house
hockey
with us,
player.
right? You come back to the house. I was like, yeah. I jumped in a cab and ran away. Where were you, man? Looking around for me. I was like, I'm a lamb among lions here. They're nuts.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll. What else? We got some fan questions?
Oh, we got
so many
Fan
for Tito, right?
questions.
a ton of fan questions.
Fan questions.
We're gonna be here all day doing fan questions.
Tito Ortiz
All right,
is in the house.
let's get them started.
Mind your medicine, watch your mouth.
First question is from Brad Lanham. He wants to know, how do you feel about Kimbo versus Shamrock, and would you like a crack at the winner?
Let me
He's
answer that question for Tito.
Yeah, please answer that question so I don't get in trouble.
Absolutely
No,
not.
let's hear it. Dude, what do
Oh
you
no,
think?
me fighting those guys? Come on.
It's kind
Do
of
you want me to kill Ken Shamrock? I mean, is that what you guys want me to do? Is that what the fans want me to kill somebody?
Tito killed a guy.
No, I mean, literally. I mean, the first 3 fights we had, I mean, it got worse and worse and worse. The first time, I almost decapitated him.
What if Kimbo beat him? What if Kimbo beats him?
Come on.
What if they said, all right,
Okay, so now I'm fighting a street fighter who's proved he doesn't have what it takes, even the UFC. Didn't you fight him?
no, Mitrione did.
Mitrione fought him.
We're on the same season, though. I
On the
never
same
fought
season,
him.
right?
Though. Yeah.
But, I mean, go to figure.
Yeah. It does nothing for you, is what you're saying.
It does zero.
You're trying to
for
fight
me.
for the
I
belt.
have nothing against Kimbo. You know,
It's
the guy
Liam or
is-
bust here, by the way.
He's a great entertainer.
Kimbo's a good guy. He's actually. Have you met him?
I met him.
He's a really, really
He's
good
cool.
guy.
He's a cool cat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is mixed martial arts. I am a former world champion, soon to be crowned world champion again. Why am I going to take a step down? I hope no one, Kimbo's listening. This is not anything personal towards him.
No, history speaks
But
for itself.
History speaks for itself. I am a former world champion. Why am I going to step down and fight somebody else to give him legitimacy? Won't do it. Sorry.
Next question.
Not mad at that.
Good answer. Next question.
All right, next one is from Jay Garcia, and he wants to know, if there's one super fight that you wish you would have done?
One super fight I wish I would have done, yeah. But he's already passed. Me and Sakuraba. Ooh. He was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He was an okay striker, good submission guy. And it would have been a huge fight in Japan. I love Japan. I've been to Japan like 8 times. I love Japan. It's amazing. The guys at Pride, those guys are awesome there. But that would have been a great fight.
That would have been.
I
a
love
big one.
Sakuraba, man.
I love Sakuraba.
How do you think a 26-year-old Tito Ortiz would do against a 26-year-old John Jones?
I would win.
Wrestling.
Yep. No one just pushed the pace on him.
Shane, no one's made it a fight with him, really.
Yeah, fight with
Get in
him.
his face.
Yeah, get in his face and fight with him. I mean, I got to believe in myself. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you have to. You don't
I
get
have
to where
I'm
you're
so
at.
old. He would have kicked my ass.
Yeah.
That's a pussy talking. I ain't no pussy.
This is true.
Still cagey.
What
Still
else you got,
salty
Ev?
at 40 years old.
This one is from Cap in my face. Does any
Cap in my cap in my face.
Cap in my face.
I would change that avatar. But
I would-
Yes, I would too.
I would
That is
definitely
not-
change up that name.
Unless he's homosexual, then it's okay.
Yeah. Change the Twitter handle.
Cap in my face.
All right. Does anything in civilian life compare to the feeling you get inside the octagon or fighting in general?
Driving my car,
Ooh, what you got?
What kind of car?
Porsche Panamera, a 4S.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, there's sometimes you get a little too close to cars and you get that. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think I've seen on your Instagram too. You have the Phantom as well, right?
The Rolls Royce Phantom, which is I have that. I have both those cars forever. I've always wanted a fast car, which the Porsche is perfect, and I've always wanted a quiet, beautiful car that makes everybody's head turn, as safe as can be. One piece, the whole body is, and that's Phantom.
Do you let your girl drive the cars? Do you get to drive the cars?
Yes, of course she does.
That's nice. I don't let anyone touch mine.
I mean, she's driving my kids around. I want my kids to be protected no matter what. I mean,
It's true.
but me and her, it's different. It's like we're best friends. We're like, it's great because I don't ever have to second guess anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to, she never second guesses me on anything, never questions me, and that's one of my biggest things. I hate being questioned.
I hear
hate
that.
someone questioning me and ask me what I'm doing, where am I going to be, where am I going to be at this time,
Preach.
what am I doing? I mean, never. I tell her what I'm doing. She's okay, cool. I talk to her, and it's a respect value. I think when we respect each other so much, and I'm gonna let her drop my cards, of course, man. I mean,
This is how I knew we were at the same event. I was fighting Gabriel Gonzaga in Anaheim
and I
Center.
was fighting Hamel.
Yes, you were fighting Hamill, and I got to the hotel and I see a Phantom parked out front, and you were always one of my favorites.
Oh.
And I was with my dad, and I was like, "Oh shit, Tito Ortiz is here." My dad's like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "That's his Phantom."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is back in '93 when Snoop Dogg bought one, and I know Snoop, and I was like, man, I want one of those Phantoms so bad, and that's always been my goal to get. And in 2006, I think it was 2006, ended up getting one and took a loan, paid it out. Still paying $800 a month for it, but it's my Phantom. I love it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
26-inch rims on it. That thing looks sick.
It's ridiculous. Couple car guys, Brian.
I know.
You sit this one
Meanwhile,
out.
I'm like,
He drives
I drive a turbo diesel
Drives a
Passat.
Passat.
Don't care. Next question.
All right, this one comes from Jesse Bose. He wants to know, how did Tito come up with his Gravedigger celebration?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That was a good question. Actually, it's not. I mean, it's a good question for the fans. It's easy for me. I was actually at a Muay Thai event. Rob McCullough was defending his title at the time in Carson. And before the fight, this Thai guy comes out, and he walks to the guy's corner. He starts digging. And he grabs the guy's face and he throws it in and he buries it. I was like, oh my God, I am taking that. I'm taking that, sir. So this is when
I'm way more famous. I'm taking that.
Yeah, I know. And so when I fought Evan Tanner, God rest his soul, and he's passed away. But right after the match, that was the first thing that popped in my head was bing. I remember just doing it, and it was so much aggression because the fight was over in like 32 seconds or something. And I remember after I buried him and I stood up on the cage, and I was like, I had so much energy because I trained so hard. I was in Big Bear for that camp for 6 weeks, and had so much energy. I was like, God, you have so much energy because it ends so quick. Like, what do you do with all this stuff? But I just remember just digging that grave and doing it. Before I fought Ryan Bader, I did the Ultimate Fighter with Michael Bisping, and all the guys were like, Tito man, please do the Gravedigger. I go, you guys got to wait until Saturday when I do it after I beat Ryan Bader. Like, no, seriously, dude. Do it so you can see
Let's do it real quick. Yeah.
Like, you'll see it on Saturday night. And they looked at me like I was retarded, green. I don't know. But I remember the first thing that popped in my head when I choked, and I remember squeezing. I felt him tap, and I was like, I am not letting go until this referee rips me off.
Heck
I ain't
yeah.
letting that. Then he finally ripped me off, and I remember the first thing that popped in my head. Oh, yeah, guys from the Ultimate Fighter.
Gravedigger.
I started digging
I
up.
got you, boys.
But it's exciting. It's entertainment. It's
Heck
fun.
yeah.
It's cool to do. And it's that great feeling. You have that so much energy. And it's like, what do you do with all this energy? And you want to be a showman. That's why I do it. I mean, it's no disrespect towards anybody. I just
No.
Thank God,
do it.
man.
Those guys
Thank
talk
God.
so much back before the fight, and they talk that smack, and I'm just shutting them up.
Yep.
The best way to do is bury them and stomp on their face when they're buried.
Makes sense.
Next question.
What you got, Ev?
This one's from Casey James. He was wondering, what is the hardest fight and the most fun fight you've ever been a part of?
Hardest fight, Randy Couture. I lost my world title. Each round, I just seemed like I was just digging a hole deeper and deeper, and I was burying myself. And the most exciting fight, God, I had to be the Bader fight. Bader and the Shlemenko fight, those two fights.
I'll say the Bader one's big for you, right? Because you're going through so much personal stuff.
So much
and you
personal
end up winning.
stuff. If I would have lost, I would have lost out on 3 fights, which were huge money. I would have got booted. I think, yeah, the Bader fight by far had to be the greatest one. I just remember that morning after the fight, and I was staying at the Wynn and opened up my windows, and the light was shining bright in my face, and I just started breaking down crying, man.
There's nothing better.
And just being thankful. Just going, I'm so thankful right now.
God, what a
And
feeling, man.
There's no feeling like that, man. There's no feeling of like that. Just you indulge yourself. It's just like, I mean, not tears of like, it's like tears of like, yeah. I just proved the world wrong. I was a 6-1 underdog. Dana's saying he's getting rid of me. All the media is asking me, so what are you doing after you lose this fight? And when I proved everyone wrong, you get that feeling of just like, I'm here to make a difference.
You know, I don't mean to sound cheesy, but I just want to say it. I find you very inspiring, and I find your example very inspiring. And I think it's because I've been watching you from the very beginning. And in the very beginning, I saw what I thought, I didn't know you, so what I thought was a troubled dude, an angry guy, probably even a bit of a bully, and just a guy who had and I listened to you talk, and I knew you had a very hard upbringing. And I remember sitting and talking to you in New York and seeing how calm you were and how centered you were and also how generous you were with your time. And now I just listen to you talking and I realize that you're a guy who's done everything on his own terms. You did it the right way. You confronted every problem you had, for better or for worse, and you were always so honest with every challenge that came your way. I think it's a very, very rare thing, man. I'm 8 years older than you, but it's for me, I think you always need people like you. You're a real walking example, man.
Well, people like say for me to be a role model. I don't want to be a role model. I don't want anybody to model my life at all, because I make mistakes, as any human does. I think more of an inspiration is the most important thing, because I've learned from my mistakes and I've inspired to be a better person, be a better father, be a better fighter, be a better businessman. And I really look at it as I keep myself grounded. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I'll take my time for anybody at any time at all, besides if I'm with my kids. My kids come first, as always. But I just try to be real. And I remember that conversation I had with Diamond Dallas Page. It says, don't forget where you came from. And I came from the streets. I was a kid who came from the streets, who had nothing, who starved through college, through high school, through all these hard times, and I was able to be successful from it. And I know what dirt tastes like, and I never want to taste dirt again. I'll never let my children know what dirt tastes like. They'll know what hard work is. They'll know what it is to get the great things, but they'll never have to steal to feed themselves. They'll never have to steal to put clothes on their back. And I've learned from all those things, and I think that's what makes me the man I am today, is a caring, giving father, hardworking fighter, businessman that I won't stop. I beat all the odds.
It just feels like you've completed the circle. Like you're such a complete person, because you've gone through all that. And I think that's what I get from you, is just like I just keep seeing the word complete. Like you just
everyone's all calm in here. Usually we're all bouncing off the walls. Everyone's all calm. He's brought everyone.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to see, because I take a step back sometimes and I see what I've done. I see what I'm doing, and I always have to check myself. I always have to make sure that I'm always giving back. And I think that's the biggest inspiration I look in my life, is someone who gives back, and that's all I try to do. Doing charity work, going to Iraq, working for the USO. Doing all these things to give back, because the skills that I have is from hard work, it's from dedication, and fans look up to me and they watch and they see the things I do. So I'm under a microscope through my whole life, it seems like, and I'm just trying to make the best of it. So when I look back, I go, I tried, I did, I succeeded, I didn't succeed, and I tried until I did succeed. But I did it respectively. I did it with their integrity. And
well, that's what I mean by you being complete, because there's such a drive for a man to make a mark and be significant, and so much of that time when you're younger requires a great deal of self-involvement. You just don't have time for other things. You just have to focus on what you're doing and get really good at it. And then you get to a point where you've gotten, which is, I was saying this the other day, a huge part of masculinity is giving, is being of service. As you get older, you want to be in a position where you are, now that you've made that significant mark and you become significant in your own endeavors, now the rest is giving. And that's what you're doing, and that's, so you kind of, your example is, that's what I mean by inspiring.
It makes you feel good too. There's this thing that my kids, we say the invisible bucket, filling people's buckets up. I'm so used to filling people's buckets up. I fill people's buckets up, and that's what makes my bucket get full also. Yeah. People haven't heard that. There's a book, I think it's called, what's that book called, babe, they were reading? The Invisible Bucket or something like that. And it's great for kids, because you're teaching them how to respect others and say, how are you doing today? You look great today, or hope you have a great day, or I love you. Just different things that for a family that could do each other to help with their kids. It's a great wording to use the right way for kids, is that empty bucket. There's times that guys are like, oh, you're a piece of shit, you suck. Well, you're taking out of their bucket. You're emptying your bucket and their bucket at the same time. And I think that's how I kind of feel it, is it makes me happy. Where I look in the mirror before I go to bed, and everybody does this when they brush their teeth, is look in the mirror and you ask yourself, have you helped somebody today? And I ask myself every single day. And yes, I mean, either it's just my own kids, my girlfriend, my family, my friends. I mean, I've helped every single day. I try to do something right.
Awesome. I feel like breaking in the song, but I'm not a singer.
We just start singing.
Tito Ortiz, he's a giving guy. Go ahead. That's all I have so far.
Couple more, Ab. Give us two more.
We'll do 2 more.
He's got a really big head, and it's all natural. I don't know. Is that how so far? No, nothing.
No, man.
And people don't realize I'm a big guy.
You are a big fight. Yeah, I'm looking at your
big ass hands.
You got some sausages.
Yeah. I'm tall. I mean, I'm not super big and built and buff. I mean, if you think I did some type of PEDs that they keep calling, you think I would be buffer, right?
No, your frame is huge. Yeah, you're just big as shit. You're just big.
Yeah, if we did
Big
steroids.
nails.
Yeah, no, and people say, "Oh, he probably got small balls." Guys, Google that shit right now.
Small balls.
That's what they say. Well, that's they say. Well, he got a big head and small balls. Well, go ahead and Google
What?
that shit. And there's your answer.
That's so
buddies.
weird.
And that was a mistake.
Wait, your balls are out there?
Yeah.
Really? You took a picture of your balls?
Well, I sent it. It was a selfie. I sent it to my ex-chick.
You sent a dick pic to your ex-chick?
Yes, and so I know it was a smiley one too. I was having a good time. I was going crazy. Come on.
Yeah.
And then
you do some weird stuff.
I was at Starbucks and my phone was left.
I've done that.
And someone got into it? Hold up.
That's how it got out?
You were at Starbucks, someone was like, oh, Tito Ortiz phone. And then they're like, how good? Oh, my
So
God.
what happens is on
So you got
Twitter.
the balls on this
So
one?
on Twitter, they have a post that if you post a picture, it goes to a site first. It doesn't be posted on Twitter automatically. It goes to a site first, and it was taken off of there. But it was left on the other site, and that's how people found it.
Damn.
And that was probably one of the most embarrassing times I think I've ever had. And then I remember Jason Prillig was like, dude, look at that. You're embarrassed. You should be happy. Own that thing right
Yeah,
now.
as long as you're like in shape and you're
I was in
well
shape.
equipped, you're
I
good.
can promise
I
you
was
one
shit.
thing: the fighter and the kid, we're both going to be googling that picture as soon as
right.
As soon as you leave, I'm checking out your ball sack.
I'm all over that. It'll be right up on that screen. I'll be admiring
shit.
it. Next question.
That's great.
Before we get to Tito Ortiz's 3-piece set,
Yeah,
next
before we put
question.
Tito's dick on the big screen.
That's it.
All right, this one is from Kieran, and he wants to know, have you and Dana talked since you left the UFC?
Nope. I don't know.
Nope, not at all.
You,
All right.
you have no reason to.
No
don't
reason
want to.
Don't want to. No. Oh yeah. Actually, he did send me a gift.
Oh yeah.
He sent me focus mitts with his face on them.
That's funny.
And this was before I fought Shemenko. He goes, if this doesn't motivate you, nothing will.
That's pretty cool.
awesome.
That was cool.
That's pretty cool.
You know, it sucks is like when that love-hate deal is like, I love the guy, but then I hate the guy because he says so much personal stuff about me and tries to ruin my career, and just ruin my image. And he's tried to ruin my image ever since the Ultimate Fighter season when I had a ruptured disc in my neck. I didn't fight Liddell. And they said, oh, Tito pulled out of the fight. I knew he would. He's a pussy. Bro, I had a ruptured disc in my neck.
Don't you think, Tito, that he's... And I always look at Dana...
It's a
I don't
control
know-
thing.
And
All
he's an
controlling.
emotional
Yes.
guy.
He's a very emotional
I
guy,
don't
and
think
it's
he's
all control.
I just think Dana's so emotional, and he takes things personally. He flies off the handle.
Yeah.
He answers back on Twitter. He's like fans give him a hard time, and he's yelling back at them. I'm like,
It's
dude,
an
you're
ego
the chairman
thing.
of...
That's an ego thing.
He's also
It's
very
ego
emotional.
driven.
We're two alpha males and we can't be in the same room at the same time, and he just hates I don't say yes to him. And maybe that's one of the things for my career I probably should have said yes a lot more times, but
Maybe you guys will be friends later on down the line.
I think you should
Maybe.
be. I think you
Yeah,
guys should kind of, knock it and trying to figure a friendship out, because you could help just not only the UFC but MMA in general as far as how guys should act, how guys should act inside, outside, how they can market themselves, how they can become a brand. Because there's so many guys. They ask me, I'm going to start a podcast. You should do it, man. Because the more voice, the more people that can hear you, the better it is for you.
Yes.
Because not only you're helping the UFC, but you're helping your brand. So for you, you're a guy where whether you're at Bellator, UFC, wherever the heck you decide to go, your entire fan base follows you.
Yes.
It's not because you're with Bellator or with the UFC. They're Tito Ortiz fans because it's wherever you go.
And it's funny.
Most guys can't say that.
No.
Most guys leave
a lot
the
of guys
UFC,
can't say that. And
99% guys
the
can't
raddest
say
thing
that.
too is I see on Twitter and stuff, and me and Amber just were talking about this, was you see guys with Tito Ortiz as their name on there,
Oh yeah,
number one
yeah.
Tito fan.
Yeah.
Ortiz biggest fan.
Yeah.
Ortiz for life. There's like older ladies that are saying Tito's my man.
Mm-hmm.
Just you don't see that with any other type of fighters, and it's crazy to see that because see how diehard my fans are. And you know, it's funny because I seen a kid come up to me, and he was no longer a kid. He's like, "Man, I've been watching you since I was like 6 years old." And kid's like 24 years old. I'm like, Jesus.
I just think they should do like they
It's so
used
cool.
to do the fighters kind of seminar thing where all the fighters would come in town with the UFC. Were you part of the UFC then? They would fly all of us in. And they'd have a
the
seminar.
summit.
The summit.
The summit.
They should have a summit every year, whether it's Bellator or UFC, and everyone gets together and they bring up Tito Ortiz and they go, ask away, guys. Mistakes, what we should do, social media.
That's what
Think how long you've been
you and
around.
Dana should do that almost.
They should. Both of them should get up there. There's
should.
Yeah.
Why? Egos. It's egos.
But Dana would do it. I mean, Dana, but and you know him very well. Dana's also a softie. What I like about Dana is that Dana will be
I mean,
like,
if you're on
he's
his
never
good-
fighting again, and then he'll wake up the next morning and be like, fuck it, give him another chance. But,
If you're
you know,
on Dana's good side, that's the best side to be on.
yeah.
Of course.
But if you're on
This
his
is-
bad side,
I've
he's
always been a feather ruffler.
This
so
is
I don't-
true, yeah.
there's love there.
It is. Yeah, I'll be honest. I love the guy. I do. I love the guy. Me and him were really good friends at a time.
There you go.
It was just we just didn't see eye to eye when it came to business.
Are you
know?
and that's fine, but I think you guys should somehow one should reach out to the other and squash the beef at some point.
The
And it's an
focus
ego.
mitts were pretty good.
It's an ego
It's
thing.
an ego thing.
Maybe a
Let's do it.
focus mitts was a way of saying
like it.
hey buddy, let's.
That's how.
What do you
seemed like it
think?
was.
Come on, man, that was a good gift.
Maybe you should have sent them back just destroyed and put like horns on them.
Well, I did send it back. I think I was promoting my fight too. I was like, "Hey, look at Dana's actually wanting me to win my fight." So
That's cool, man.
It was
I'm
cool.
sure he has. There's no question. I'm sure that he has.
No, he's a good
life's too
dude.
damn
Yeah,
short.
he's
You know,
a-
and
It really is,
I've-
man.
I've stopped off the Bash and Dana deal. I get to a point in my life. It's just I gotta forgive and forget. You know, life's too short not to. And why dwell in hatred? Because
It's a waste of energy, man.
it's a
This
waste of
new
energy.
Tito doesn't have
Yeah,
time for that.
I ain't got no time for that. For
No,
sure.
sir.
Not at
You guys
all.
will be like 90 in the rocking chair going, remember when we used to go at it all the time?
How about you?
Hot tub time machine.
How about you and Chuck? Because Chuck works for the UFC. He's an employee of the UFC.
Now, Chuck, that's a different deal, man. It's funny because I guess he came out with his book and he says how we were never friends and this and that. But every time I always see him, it's like, hey, dude, what's up? Hey, bro, hey, what's up? I remember him coming staying at my house and sleeping on my couch, me going up to his place in San Luis Obispo and staying at his place, training with him, coming up to Big Bear. People ever seen the fight between him and Kevin Randleman, him jumping in my arms?
That's weird.
When does that not become friends? I mean, is it the fact that he sold out and his money was more important to him? Because at the end of the day, if we would have really stuck together, we would have made triple the money we would have made. Because that's I said was, I'm not going to fight him because I want to make sure we get paid great money.
Yeah.
We made $100,000 when we fought each other the first time, and it was like, dude, we can make $8 to $9 million. Just sit back and let's go us against the business.
Right.
Let's just take a cut of that.
People
why
wanna see it.
shouldn't we make 33% of it instead of making 6% of it?
They can't do the fight without you guys.
Exactly. And he gave in, he copped in, he sold out, and he did. And
And is that where you guys kind of went south? The relationship went south?
You know, and there were just, was it 6-7 months ago, I was at a premiere, and he was sitting right behind me. Literally, the seat right behind me. I was sitting there, and my boys kept looking at him.
Was he cool?
And I caught the corner of my eye and go, oh, shit, Chuck, what's up, dude? And he said, what's up, man? How you doing? Good. You can see the family's doing good? Yeah, cool. And boys are like, that's Chuck Liddell. It's funny because I show my boys picture and they know him.
Yeah.
And but it's that awkward, weird, are we boys? Are we not? Should we people watching? Should we not like each other? I'm a real guy. I don't give a shit. What's up? Like, he was my friend. Yes, he was my friend. If he just says I'm not his friend, cool, then fuck off then. I mean, oh well, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, I just, as far as relationships go, especially if it's gone south, someone has to step up and be like, dude, listen, this is stupid. And it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
For me, I do that. I always do. And whenever it's like awkward, I always reach out to people.
I mean, people watch that Bad Blood thing that was made between me and him.
Yeah.
That was so just fake.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I just scratching my head on it. It's like, is this how bad they want to make money? Is just to turn two people against each other like that? And it was. And you know what? Oh well.
Telling you, those summits, they should have Tito, Chuck, Randy Couture. That should be the 3 pioneers up there, and then you guys just give us the speech. You know what I'm saying? The whole spiel of what we should do. Twitter,
I said that a
social
long
media.
time ago.
Why not, man? Who else can talk and relate to the fighters?
They need to have control. Need to have control.
Might have to do it on a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah.
Live podcast. There, I'm just saying it.
Live podcast, fighters,
Live podcast.
just for the fighters.
Yeah, cut to me. I'll say nothing. Hey, guys.
For fighters only.
I know.
Hey.
That's not a bad idea.
I'll host
What
it.
else you got, Ev? Last one, bud. We're just eating up Tito's time here.
Yeah, we'll wrap on this one. This one's from Stuart Blair, and he wants to know, what's your favorite birthday present you've ever received or given? Also, happy birthday, Schaub. All 3 of you, favorite birthday presents you've ever gotten?
I know this is going to sound really weird, but my dad brought me home a stuffed piranha from the Amazon. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. The teeth and everything. I stared at that thing forever. I swam it around. I was way too old to be doing
How
it.
old were you?
I was 25. I don't know how old I was. Who knows how old I was? I was a kid, but I was just like a stuffed piranha. I kept touching the teeth. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
That's pretty badass.
It was the coolest thing I'd ever
a little
seen in
old
my
for
life.
that,
I was probably 9.
You were every bit
I
of
was 9. Yeah, I was 28 years old. Yeah. I didn't mature very quickly. I was like, "Hey, Dad." Feeding it. I was feeding it. It wasn't responding. I put it in water and destroyed it. No, I remember literally being. I was 9 and I couldn't believe it. And then my dog ate it. A dog chewed it to smithereens.
Best birthday present. This is gonna sound real cocky. Best birthday present. I bought. Yeah, you know what
Today.
it is. Yeah, I bought myself a gift last night, and I bought a new Porsche 911
Nice.
to myself. Yeah, so it's been my dream car since I was 6. And dreams come true when you make them happen yourself.
Yes.
So that was my gift to myself.
I'd have to say I gift myself too, but I
We're the same, my man.
I'd have to say. I mean, I still have the car, and it was a Porsche Panamera. I won $350,000 in Las Vegas, and I went and bought the Porsche with cash. I bought
Dang.
Wait a minute. You won $350,000? Let's
five Gs. Start with 5 Gs.
let's back up.
I won a 24-hand win streak.
What?
At one time, I was betting a $35,000 hand. I hit blackjack on it.
Dang. What?
Yeah, this is at Caesars.
Oh my
Of course, Dana knows
God.
about Caesars. He won millions from them.
Yeah.
But it was day before New Year's Eve. I was in Las Vegas, and I started out with 5,000, as I always do. I start with 5,000, and I'll see you. If I lose, I walk away. I will never gamble for the rest of the time I'm there. But if I win, I'll just keep winning with the wins.
my God.
But I kept winning, and I got to a point, I had a couple cocktails in me. I was like, all right. I started getting brave, and I started pushing. And this older lady was sitting next to me. She's like, son, what's the most money you ever won sit down blackjack? I was playing by myself. And I got probably about 75 at the win. She's like, well, you better count those chips in front of you, son. Counted them out. Saw 250, 275. I was like, holy shit. Put 250 aside, got 25. Ran the 25 up to 350.
Unreal.
And then you went to the Porsche dealer and just paid cash.
The next week, actually 3 weeks later, after I went home and kind of realized that I had that much money, I took a backpack, went to the Porsche dealer. I was like, I'll take that Porsche.
I'll take that one.
And he's like, okay, what do you want to finance it? I go, no, I'll pay cash for it. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I paid cash for it. And still
Did he know who you were?
Yeah. This is the second time this has only happened. The first time some prince from one of the Dubai companies or whatever.
It's a great car.
Came in and did exactly what you just did. And then you counted it 100 by 100. Cash.
We'll finish on this. What's the crate? Because you were young and famous, which is a dangerous combo, believe me. And you know this. What's basically the stupidest thing you've done with your money?
Stupidest thing I've ever done with my money.
Because like that Gonzaga fight, I won. They gave me a bonus. I went and bought it.
Buying
with
Big
all the
Bear.
bonus, I bought a.
Buying the Big Bear residence.
Really?
Was the stupidest thing I ever done in my whole life.
Why?
I finally sold it because I paid $12,000 a month for somewhere that I didn't even live.
You were just there for camps, right?
Just for the camps. It was the stupidest thing. I did it because De La Hoya had it, and I was, it was my idea that I was going to do something great with it, and I ended up doing nothing with it. And
You didn't rent it out or anything to
I
other
rented
fighters
it
or
out, but it
anything?
was just no other fighters. They wouldn't do it. No one had enough balls to go up to Big Bear and train. It's too hard for them. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was probably the stupidest thing I ever did with my money. But I finally sold
Real
it.
estate's not too bad investment, though.
I lost $600,000 on the home.
Okay, that was a bad idea.
It was a really bad idea.
Yep.
That was a horrible idea.
Me,
Live and learn.
I lived and I learned. I was stupid at the time, my last relationship, that was when I just started it. She's like, "Oh, you should buy it to be the greatest thing." And I was like,
You don't learn without
love and pussy makes you do some stupid things.
Another dangerous combo.
Love and pussy makes you do some stupid things. We'll close on that quote right there.
We will.
Love and pussy makes you do some
You're the
stupid
best, man. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me,
You're
man.
the best.
I hope the fans who do listen, they get a little different light on me.
They're gonna love this. I'm telling you, our fans are gonna love you.
I do my soul on social media, and so many people do not understand me.
Not at all.
That talk smack and saying I'm irrelevant and over the hill and da 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 da. Those are the people that never stepped one foot in an octagon, never stepped one foot in a gym, and punched each other for a living. I do this for my heart. I do this for my kids. I do this for my fans. I just wanted to make the best of this life I have in front of me, and I only got one life to do it. So.
Love it, man.
Doing it, man.
At Tito Ortiz on Twitter, hit him up.
Yes.
Let's get this title fight.
Yes.
Liam, come on, Liam. I know
Liam
you're
will do it.
listening.
Liam's down.
Liam has to be down.
He goes, he's way down. It's just Viacom. Viacom's they.
Viacom, Coker, I'll text you. Let's make this happen.
They want numbers.
There it is.
I'll give it to them.
You're Mr.
There
Numbers.
it is. Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz, everybody.
Thank you.
We're out.